Yo, what's going on? We back again. About to invite everybody and shit.
Just waiting for the Snowgoons and all that.
Yo, yo,
Yo,
yo.
yo, what's good,
What's good,
fam?
brother?
Chilling, man, chilling. Trying to set this whole shit up right quick. You know what I mean?
Word, exactly. Same here. Just jumped on.
No doubt, no doubt. Yo, what time is it over there, yo?
It's 10 in the evening, we're 6 hours ahead.
Oh,
It's like
wow.
middle European time. Yeah, yeah. So that's sometimes a tricky thing, when somebody requested a live thing on Insta and then it's like, whatever, it's like 10 in the evening in the US. It's like 4 in the morning over here. So that's why we kind of have to do it a little bit earlier.
Yo, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. Yeah, when you said that at first, I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'm thinking New York time and all that, and I was like, that's crazy. That's a huge difference. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, it's 6 hours. Definitely,
no
man.
doubt. That's crazy, yo. But that's what's up, man. But I'm trying to get Sick Nature up in here right quick.
Yeah, he should be there too. So don't worry, we got all the time in the world. Have you ever
Yeah,
been to
word.
Europe? Ah, here we go.
Oh, peace, peace. What's good, brother?
What's good? What's good?
Chilling, man,
What's
chilling.
up, Sick?
What was you saying, though, bro?
Have you ever been to Europe?
Nah, I always wanted to, man. I always felt like hip hop was like the best out there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that sounds weird or whatnot because I'm from New York. You know what I mean? But
hmm Word.
I mean, well, have y'all been out here?
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, we did a couple tours, and I mean, we're traveling to the US on the regular. I mean, obviously not right now, but before COVID, like we was doing a couple of tours, man. We did East Coast tours, Canadian tours, all types of shit, man. Yep.
That's what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? I would expect that of you because you guys are fucking huge. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have a huge reputation. Everything you touch seems to be platinum. Like, that's just how I see it, anyways. You know what I mean? So it's definitely an honor to talk to y'all. You know what I mean? Because I know y'all got your lives and stuff, and I don't want to distract y'all from what y'all doing, but I figure I wanted to
Word.
talk to y'all. You know what I mean?
Respect. Thanks, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
So now we got people in here. Why don't y'all just explain who you are and just break down a little bit for those that don't know about the Snowgoons?
Exactly. All right, let me start real quick. So, the Snowgoons is basically a producer team that goes back to 1999. Me and my partner Dad started doing beats back then, and we was never really planning to do like a producer team or anything like that. It was just mixtapes and having fun with the music. And it took us like quite some years, like 8 years before we even dropped our first album, The German Lugers. And that was the time then, like right after the German Lugers, that's when we got in touch with Signature basically. And then actually the Snowgoons really started off. So I guess Sig, now you can introduce yourself.
Yeah. Well, I go by the name of Signature, and I basically met DJ Illegal back in, I think it was like 2007 in Copenhagen, and I gave him a CD, and he liked it and contacted me, and we started working together, and it just like made sense to. I mean, we were on the same page in the book, you know what I mean? Like we were working with the same people. We wanted to do the same type of music, and we just connected, man, became friends, and I basically started doing a lot of the Snowgoons beats, or some of the Snowgoons beats, excuse me, even before joining the group officially. So so we go way back. So it just made sense for me to join, back then. So
Exactly. Yeah. And then the good part was we did, since I was a DJ and obviously Signature is a rapper too, we was touring with Ill Bill, for example, the homie Ill Bill. And because Sig was working with Ill Bill before already, and so already our circle was, you know, already small when you're looking at the artist. And but because of Ill Bill, it gave us the opportunity to go on tour, and that opened a whole nother door for the Snowgoons, basically, because we could actually step out of that kind of, well, the Snowgoons are producers. Yes, we are producers, but we also are crew and doing live shit. And with Signature as an MC and me as a DJ, we can tear down stages, you know. And we, like I said before, we already traveled the whole world, man. We did a tour in the Philippines and like basically all around the world, you know. And that's the beauty of the Snowgoons too, though. So it's like the Snowgoons is not just only the producers, you know, and even further, like we have also a tight DJ crew in the Snowgoons, basically, which called the Snowgoons DJs, which is DJ Crypt, DJ Denetic, and DJ 6K. So the whole team is really, you know, a big squad, and that's what makes the Snowgoons also so powerful, because everybody brings their love for hip hop into the table, into this big boat. That's what we call the Snowgoons, and that's what keeps the whole bus rolling, you know.
Or
Yeah, because I always looked at y'all like y'all had so many. It looked like y'all had such a huge team and army and shit. That like I look at y'all as like the German Wu-Tang site. You know what I mean? Like you just had a huge family and whatnot. But I'm glad to hear that too, because I feel like that's essential to hip hop. Like you have to be friends, you have to be a family before you could really start composing the real shit. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
So
Exactly.
that's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
But
That's why.
I got a little bit. Go ahead.
No, sorry, yeah, because you know that's why I think that's another secret of the Snowgoon success, because we all clicked as like friends, you know. It's not just like business or doing a crew or doing some music. We all clicked on a personal level, and you know, and we share the mutual love for the music. And that's what is another part of the Snowgoons, I think, what makes us authentic and in a way successful, you know, at least in the underground, in our realm, you know. Because people can see that through the music, you know, that we're some real dudes, and with our passion for the music and all that, you know. We're not in this for the fame or for the money. Like we still till today, man, like if we decide to rock a show for free somewhere, just we feel like it, then we do it, you know. So it's all in our hand, and whatever the love brings us, that's what we're gonna do.
Yo, I love to hear that. Yo, that shit is so awesome. Like, I know a lot of the artists that I've dealt with and shit. Like, it felt like it was always about the money, which I understand. We all got bills and shit. We got families, so you know it's an
Right,
obvious.
right.
But at the same time, I always felt like if you big in the game, you can still reach down and pull people out of the gutty. You know what I mean? Still talk to people on a regular basis, not have to charge everybody for every single thing that's done. You know what I'm saying? And hearing that you would do a
Word.
free show, that's fucking amazing. I don't think I've ever heard anybody as big as you guys are to say some shit like that. So that's amazing. That's great, yo. I love to hear that, yo. I did have a little bit of a trick question. Maybe it's not a trick question. I don't know if anyone ever asked y'all this, but like, what made y'all come up with the name Snowgoons?
Well, this goes also back when me and Dad started doing the mixtapes and shit, right? It was only me and him, so it was two people. And Dad actually always liked to use there is some comic, Calvin and Hobbes, and in there is a two-headed snow monster, which is called Snowgoon. And so since we was like two people, we liked that term, the Snowgoon, basically that monster. We thought like, well, because we worked so close always together when we did the beats, it was like we're like one person kind of, which is actually till the day. Like me and Dad, when we, even back then until today, we basically 99% of all the ideas or anything that we come up with, we always click like the same idea, the same thing, you know. It's like there's never a big discussion about like, nah, I want to do that. I want, you know, it's like we on the same page all the time. And that's why the two-headed snow monster fitted so well, because it's like one person, but with two heads, you know. And so the name was really dope, Snow Goon. But then, you know, obviously we more people now, so it's the Snow Goons, you know. That's more or less
Yeah,
the origin of the name.
no doubt, no doubt. I figured I'd ask you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
I didn't know if it was maybe an inside thing. You know what I mean? Like, y'all just came up with it. Just, you know what I mean? Just made it happen, or maybe there was like some meaning behind it. Because you know what I'm saying? I feel like That's a
Right.
dope ass name. First off, Snowgoons. When I first heard your names, I was just like Snowgoons. Like that shit sounds crazy. I'm like, yo, what is that? Like an anime or something? You know what I mean? Like
Right,
that shit
right.
was lit. But that shit is dope, man. So
Right.
yeah. So what projects you working on as of now? Because I did hear some joint from, I think her name is Generation. I think that's her name.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
Yeah.
It's our new artist here on Goon Music because, you know, during all these years, because we were signed to Baby Grand in New York, and
Mm,
that's when we dropped our first albums. And then by the time we got out of the deal with Baby Grand, we was able to establish our own label, Goon Music. And we you know we had this idea that we definitely want to from that moment on, like we did our experience with the labels, and we did even a project with Universal here in Germany and shit like that. But
mm,
with all this experience, we decided in the future and ever on, we want to stay independent, you know. We want to have control of our music, and it's not even about the control of the money or anything. It's just also the creative part and everything that's attached to the music. And that was a big reason for us to found Goon Music as a label. But then again, also we don't see Goon Music as a label who's constantly signing new artists and bringing out new talents. We definitely gonna do that on a level, but in the first reason for founding Goon Music was because we needed a platform for ourselves, for Snowgoons, basically, you know. And so, like you said, Generation is the latest member, and I wouldn't really say that we have a lot of people signed, but there's this other kid, K-Press from New Jersey. He's super dope, and so with us, we don't really do contracts, you know, since everything we do is for the love. It's more or less handshakes, you know. It's like we look for people that feel the same way as we do, and then we just go forward, you know, and that's better than any contract or anything, you know, because the music always comes first. But yeah, like you said, Generation is coming next year with some new music, and obviously K Press is also coming with some new music, and it's really dope because Signature also dropping constantly like solo music as well outside of the Snowgoons. Um, and then another thing that we're working on right now is actually the new Snowgoons album, the Renaissance Kings. And
mm.
I guess it's okay, Sig, if I'm gonna announce it right now, which we will post tomorrow. But this is we want to grab this chance here to while we chat with you and some people watching. We have to push the album for one more month because it's supposed to
Mm.
come out on the 12th of December in 2 weeks now, or actually in 10 days or whatever. But we decided to put it out next year on 14th of January, and the simple reason is because you know, we had to craft it a little bit more on some of the joints and tweak here and there some stuff. And this is more important for us to get the music right instead of rushing something and keep a deadline, you know. So at the moment, this is our main focus. I would say the Renaissance Kings album. It's basically done more or less. It's like 2 or 3 little notches we have to turn to get the mastering right, and then it will drop.
Right.
So yeah, I guess Sig, you can tell the people some about the new joint that's about to drop.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, there were a couple of songs that we needed to tweak on a little bit, and so we decided to like look into one of the songs that I worked on, that kind of represents the crew. We wanted to do like a Snowgoons anthem kind of thing, to kind of big up everybody in the crew, sort of. And so that's the next song that's gonna drop from the album. And
Right.
but yeah, we're getting really close with wrapping it all up, you know. And it's definitely gonna be some good stuff, man. You know, I think this is one of the really dope Snowgoons albums. So in my opinion, um, but yeah, I
All your shit
mean,
is hot
things
for the
take
record.
time, you know. And
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean,
yeah,
if you follow
um,
the if
yeah,
you follow the Snowgoons, you probably noticed already that we dropped a couple singles. For example, the super dope joint with Nems and Sean P and Bernadette Price on the intro. You know, it's like a super tight joint, man. And we was always close to Sean P. Rest in peace, you know. And it's more or less an honor for us to drop a new joint with Sean P now, and even better to involve Bernadette Price, you know, because we gave her the publishing on this joint, you know, so that's only right. So it stays in the Price family, basically, you know. It's because that's like we said before, man. Hip hop is a family thing, you know, and it's not about making $1 and try to promote this song and you know and just flip the next dollar, but we also always looking out for the people around it and shit. So that's always important to us, you know.
Good. I'm glad you ain't on that Diddy shit. You know what I mean? You're locked down the studio type shit every time somebody pisses you off or something. Like that's a good thing.
No.
You also got some shit with Benny Hanna, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like that's the new kids, like more or less on the Goon Music roster. Because you know, I mean, we've been down with Benny Hanna for a minute, and but he got very like active in the last like year or longer, and we was talking, and he brought Quan from the Savage Brothers back into the boat, and there was something that we felt this is cool to follow up on our old work with the Savage Brothers, which has always been dope in a way, and that's just also just one step of all our I would say, you know, in if you follow the Snowgoons with all the projects and everything, so that's one chapter of the whole Snowgoons dynasty, I would say, you know, with the Savage Brothers, and we always did some really good music, and it's that connection, like even, you know, they're not from New York, they're like from Carolina down there, you know, and but it doesn't matter where you actually from, you know. If you dope, you dope, and if you click basically. So this friendship has been going on for many years, and so it was mad cool to reconnect with Benny Hanna and Kwon, and then, you know, and the good part is usually when we drop a project, it's obviously a lot of work, you know. People know that. I mean, it's nowadays way easier for an artist to record some music and get it out there, obviously with the internet and everything, you know, because I mean, you know that too. In the 90s, you had to go to a studio actually, and then you had to wait till the song is mixed and everything. And now you record your shit at home, and like technically 5 minutes later, you can already upload that shit to the internet if you want, technically, you know, if you be
yo,
able to mix
facts.
it and all that. So, but anyway, like the beauty of it is, with these kids now, you know, Benny Hanna took a lot in his own hands, and so it was easier for me also to maneuver through, you know, because I have obviously also a lot on my plate, like especially the focus now on the new Snowgoons album, and we working constantly, you know, so it's like even right now, once the Snowgoons album is wrapped up, then we jump already on the next 2-3 projects, because we have, for example, we have another project almost done with the Lords of the Underground. It's supposed to be out already since last year, but then we all know COVID happened, and we had to push the whole thing, because Lords of the Underground are super dope dudes, and they basically always love to tour, and the idea was to drop this album while they're on tour, you know. So since COVID we couldn't really tour, so we probably gonna do it next year. But that's just also just one of the projects we always working on, you know. But anyway, so Benny Hanna, I was very grateful that he took over a lot of the, I wouldn't say runaround things, but you know, it's like, it's definitely a lot of stuff that goes with an album, from the artwork, from the mixing, from the videos, from everything basically, even up to promotion and everything, you know, because we are so independent, man.
Mm-hmm.
We do everything ourselves, you know, and so that was cool that Benny Hanna took that in his hands, and I oversee the project with him, and it turned out really dope. So you will definitely, of course, hear some more music from Benny and them as well.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Benny Hanna, man, and Generation, man. The shit that I've been hearing is just fucking, just fire. Like, makes you want to slap somebody type shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm glad to hear that. You know what I mean? It's also because you guys got such a long list of vets, legends, and on top of that, new artists that you brought into the game. So it's like, it is kind of hard to keep up with y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I'm sitting here blasting one album back to back to back, and it's like, damn, now I gotta jump to a whole nother album back to back to back. You know what I mean? Like, y'all gotta give me some more time to repeat.
True.
But yeah,
yeah, I mean,
word.
You
Is there
know, we
like,
try to not to oversaturate, of course, you know, But that's why a real Snowgoons album only comes out every 2-3 years maximum, you know. But yeah, of course, since we're so active, we drop in all these other projects, and that's what you mean. Of course, like it's hard to follow. And now we start even a new series called First of the Month, where we drop like a loose song, which is not connected to any album. Because usually we always drop songs that are connected to any project and stuff, and following up on a release. But that was the idea, to just drop random songs, specifically more or less for Spotify, for the digital platform. And it turned into to a cool thing now, you know, because it was a test for us to see how is this even going to work, how are the people going to receive it, you know, and it works really well. So we keep up that format as well, like the first of the month. So there will be coming every first of the month a new joint, and then of course in between there will drop in the regular Snowgoons joints. Yep. Word.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, always moving, man. Like every time I'm on Instagram, all I see is Snowgoons this, Snowgoons that. I'm like, yo, I'm like, I gotta share all this, man. I can't not. So it's like that's dope. I'm pretty sure every fan definitely appreciates all the work you guys put in. Like that has to be said. Like, you know what I mean, I know a lot of people have a hard time not tripping over their fucking ego and shit. But as for me, I love my hip hop. I'm a '90s head. You know what I mean? All I blast is still my Nas shit, my old school shit. So what y'all bring to the table is definitely some shit that I definitely love listening to. I put more people on. Whoever don't know about it, I'm gonna put it on. And I think word of
Okay.
mouth and everything else, the internet, everything is just great. And I definitely feel like your albums kind of flawless, man. Like I really don't see a reason to skip any tracks. I mean, that's just how I that's just how I listen to it. You know what I mean? You got anything to say, sick? Like, you got anything
Appreciate
to
you.
mention?
I just wanted to say I appreciate you, man. Thank you for
Oh no,
sharing,
Word.
no
Yep.
doubt, man.
and bumping it. Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, so what do you guys think is the difference between like where you at and from where I'm at? Like as far as like your fan bases go, as far as like the entertainment scene and all that.
Well, yeah. Like you said it earlier, you know, it's definitely a different hip hop scene, but obviously let's face it. I mean, everything comes from the States, you know, all the trends, all the I mean, hip hop comes from the States, obviously, you know. And I used to always kind of compare it to like if you compare hip hop to real life, right? Then it's like if whatever if it, let's say hip hop was born in New York, right? And then now hip hop is in an age where in the 90s, hip hop was finally got kids, right? And these kids eventually moved to Europe and worldwide, anywhere in the world, you know, in any country. And now these kids growing up in the 2000s and and basically like now making their own kids. So that's how I always see it, you know, how hip hop got into the world somehow and is like spreading out everywhere, you know. And so basically, I think it is everywhere the same. I mean, obviously, the commercial shit is representing everywhere on top. You know, I mean, that's why commercial shit is commercial shit, basically. And then there is always the dope underground shit, you know, which will received here also very well. So I guess it's still very similar to the US, if I would say, like if you would see it as a European hip hop scene. Like there is a lot of commercial shit, of course, which is very popular in the clubs and everywhere. And then there is a lot of hip hop heads that love the like us, like the 90s shit, you know, even younger kids who love that shit. Um, but I would say the only thing is like maybe it's because in Europe, and I don't want to lean out the window with this, but it's like I feel like sometimes in Europe, kids a little bit appreciate more the culture and appreciate more the history, you know, in generally, and that also reflects on hip hop. So a lot of kids here they do their studies and they look up the old shit and you know and don't get me wrong, there is of course like this is universal, you know, everybody like there is kids here too that only like whatever they like the commercial shit, you know, and say this is hip hop and this is hip hop and whatnot, but that it doesn't even matter to me though, you know. You like what you like and that's fine, you know. I don't judge anybody for whatever he wants to hear, you know, but that's definitely maybe a little bit of fact. I think that in Europe, kids in generally, they appreciate a little bit more the culture. And actually, I noticed the same in Japan because last year I've been for the very first time in Japan. And it was very interesting to see, like on the shows that the kids that was coming out, they was also like really hard into the 90s hip hop culture, you know, the clothing, the music, everything. And you could tell this was even like super young kids, you know, like 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. And they was totally into the 90s shit, you know, that was super beautiful. And I could tell they really respected, and they did their study, you know, they looked up the shit, and they learned their shit basically. So once again, I don't want to say that it's, you know, it's better or anything than in the States or whatever, but and I guess also I feel like a little bit, you know, since it comes from the States, it's for an American, it's just so old, and it's been there like that, you know, especially nowadays. I mean, we're talking about now nearly 50 years of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And so and Europe, whatever, is definitely easily like 10 or 15 years back, kind of, you know, if you look at the waves, how it always came over here. So I don't know how it's going to be looking here in 10 years, if more kids like not going to care about the culture anymore or whatever. But, you know, that's just how I see it with Europe.
Nah, I feel you. So you, in a way, it's kind of like the grass is sometimes greener on the other side, where it's like we started with the hip hop, whatever. Y'all loved it, y'all adopted it. We loved what you guys were doing, we adopted it. So it's kind of like we both kind of intertwined with shit. Like I feel like that's kind of how it is, because I feel like New York kind of slipped off a lot when like later in the '90s, and then a lot of these newer artists, such as you guys too, like you came in and just completely just changed hip hop. Like so in a way, I feel like we kind of took that back in a way and was like, yo, we're gonna start getting our shit together. Then you got people like Rusty Jukes straight out of Brooklyn, just straight coming out with crazy shit, and then you got all these artists. So I mean, because I always noticed that too. Yo. I always felt like Japan and other countries kind of loved our music and appreciated it more. But that's also, I feel, because maybe it was raised here. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you're around something so much, you're just like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? But then you go to a whole nother country, you see a whole nother moon, a whole nother sky. It's like, yo, this shit is crazy. So that's how it was with the Snowgoons. Well, for me, and me as a fan, you know what I mean? Not even just talking, like just talking. I'm talking out of my heart for the music. When I heard y'all beats and I heard the way you guys were putting people together on shit, it was like the perfect match. Like you guys know how to conduct your shit. You know the right artists to choose on your beats, and on top of that, you know how to compose an album to where it's front to back. You don't gotta hit no skip buttons. You don't gotta like, you know what I mean? Like that's how hip hop's supposed to be in my eyes. Like so definitely once again, definitely appreciate what y'all do, especially with the beats, man. Y'all beats.
But yo, that's
Jeez.
you know, that's the same way how we create the albums, you know, because we look at it also from a fan perspective, from a hip hop fan perspective, not from a Snowgoons fan perspective, but from a hip hop fan perspective, because we like to bump that shit also, you know. And then we was thinking, then like you said, we thinking about, like, for example, like Signature sent me a new banger, right? And I hear instantly once I drop this beat, I'm like, yo, shit, yo, this guy would kill it, or, you know, this would sound good. And then we go forward and back, and then he's like, oh yeah, you know what, maybe we should add him, and blah blah blah. And that's how sometimes the tracks, you know, going to be created. And then we're going to hit up the artist, and either they feel it or not, you know. And then sometimes it goes a different route. But that's the beauty of making this music, you know. It's like that creative part, like creating something and then still liking it as a hip hop fan, you know, ourselves, you know, where we're like, oh yeah, man, that shit is dope, you know. That's always our criteria to, like, when we create an album.
Yo, I'm loving everything you're saying, but I'm kind of distracted by that wall, yo. That wall is amazing. Like just seeing all that shit just on the wall like that, man. The accomplishment.
It's like, it's a huge wall, yeah. But it's
like you walking into a fucking Hall of Fame back there and shit. Like
it's not even half of what, you know.
Yeah, it's not everything, you know.
Damn, what you got, like a whole nother building with just all your trophies and all your...
No.
Damn, that shit is crazy, yet, yo.
No, but yeah.
That shit is crazy, yo. Word. So what do you guys think your next step is outside the music? Because you guys already got the merchandising, which actually I did have a question about that. And I don't know if I'm out of line or whatnot, so don't take it the wrong way. But you guys are distributing like Wu-Tang style stuff with the Goons gear, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you know, we basically had experience by selling merchandise during the touring, you know. And because it's funny, because when we dropped our first shit over Baby Grand, the label, the first couple albums, we never really had like a lot of CDs or vinyl to sell ourselves on tour, right? But we noticed that like on tour you can definitely slang a lot of merch, you know, and people actually want it. And it's cool, like, because people, they're gonna buy the album. Sometimes you feel like they buy a vinyl and they don't even have a record player, but they just want maybe your autograph on it or whatever, or they want to basically buy it from you personal, you know, just because they like this album and shit. So by the time we figured out, because you know, we was doing everything learning by doing as well, and then we figured out, yo, we need to have our merchandise. So we start doing mixtapes kind of again to just sell our own CD. But then again, when we founded Goon Music as a label, we was be actually able from now on to press up our own CD and vinyl and bring that on tour as well. It's the same for the merchandise, you know, shirts and hoodies and all of that. And so that's why we founded Goons Gear, like the merch store. And the merch store is kind of taken off on its own, you know. So we don't even be like really much involved into the Goons Gear anymore. Like they drop in our merch. And they also, of course, we help them out, and we're like, yo, why you not just bring some back like Woo Wear, you know? It's always dope. And
Word.
so and you know, the funny shit is the Goons Gear thing is like almost the same as with our music. It's always quality, because we just not want to sell quick a t-shirt for $20 and like just buy the cheapest shirt you can find to just flip $1. Like we really oversee most of the stuff and look into the quality, and like from the hats, like the hat that Signature's wearing or the hat I'm wearing with the snowflake, it's like all of this shit is like really I would, yeah, well, I say top-notch products, you know. They're like really, really good quality, and that's more worth than just to make some cheap merch and sell it real quick, you know. And so we look at it same as with the music, you know. It's always quality, and yeah, but it's growing and it's really going, the Goons Gear shit. And I guess obviously also the whole Corona shit kind of supported the online shit, obviously, you know. And so
Yeah.
the whole Goons Gear staff, like they I wouldn't say blow up, but they definitely doing well right now, and they have more brands, and there is coming even more brands now in the future, and that's why we be able to do some crazy merch, you know. And because I mean, it's no problem to print your logo on a t-shirt, right? That's the average merch shit. But we have stuff like the split hoodies, where it's like two different hoodies sewed together, but like really professional, you know. All of that
Yeah, I
shit
seen
is
that
like
shit.
it's done so well, you know. It's like we can even, like, honestly, we can fuck almost like on night level or something, you know, like really quality merch, instead of just buying some cheap, like I said, hoodie and just print the logo on and then resell it real quick, you know. Like we look at it everything as like really quality and stuff. So yeah, but the Goons Gear shit, man, like it's fun, kind of. It was fun too when we started it, and now it's took off on its own, you know. So we can be more focused on the music now again, and let the merch be on the side. Yep.
Word, man. Yeah, y'all quality is crazy with like the clothing line and shit. When I seen they had Wu Tang, I was like, oh shit, they bring it back. Where? I was like, I remember them shits, yo. Shit. Word. What I was gonna say, what y'all gonna bring back next? Fubu, like just had some ill shit, Snowgoons, collaborative and shit. Word, man. That shit is crazy, yo. What was I gonna say, yo? Like, yo, you guys ever had any problems with anybody? Like, as far as like your features and people just hitting you up? Like, do you feel like you get spammed a lot with a lot of shit?
Well, yeah, of course, that happens, you know. And I mean, I would say overall we go really well along with a lot of our fellow artists, you know. And it's the mutual respect basically. And but of course, we had in the past our problems with certain artists and stuff like that. But there was never really something big, you know, like where I would say like this turned into a huge problem or something, you know. We always handled everything, like I would say, fair, and we, you know, I mean, it's tough to talk about yourself like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to like make us look like angels or whatever, you know. And like you said before, it's like business is business, man, you know. We love this music shit, but of course at the end of the day we also need to eat, right? And and even if we can do a show for free sometimes or whatever, and drop some music for free or whatever, at the end of the day, it's all business. If you want to or not, that's also a part we had to learn, in our journey doing the music, because I mean, I wasn't like going into school and learn to be how to be a musician or something. It like all came like I dropped school and I just did the music out of fun, and I was DJing, make my first money, and I grow into all of this, and I learned how to hustle. And trust me, like in the beginning, it wasn't easy at all. Like sometimes people think like, oh yeah, the Snowgoons, they was just here, but we invested like years of not only money, but like
Right.
time and passion and trouble,
Right.
blood, sweat, and tears,
A lot of hard work.
Exactly,
Yeah.
till we got to the first album. It's the same with Sigdo. When he dropped his basically his real first signature album at around the same time when we dropped the German Luca album, and he had the same experience. It's like,
Right.
especially
Right.
for us coming from Europe, it's different too.
Right.
Because when you're in New York, it's easy. You go to a show, you meet so many people. Once you go to one show, there's like 5-6 other artists, and you can easily connect. But we were sitting here in Europe, and we had to use MySpace and all of this shit back then, to even
Right.
communicate before Instagram even.
Good old MySpace. And
Fuck
like
the throwback.
that goes for the tours too. Like in the beginning, we had to pay to go around and do shows. You know what I mean? Like we had to pay to go to this country and that country. We spent a lot of like hard-earned money to go, to go places.
Right.
But in the end, it paid off. And it was like a lot of hard work, a lot of investment, and here we are. But it didn't happen overnight. So it's like Illegal said, like, we put in a lot of work, like in different areas of the music. So.
Nah, of course. That's very obvious. You could definitely see like your work ethic and shit. Like you guys go harder than most that I've seen anyways, you know what I mean? And I did have a question for you, Sick. Like, yo, do you be getting niggas hitting you up for like trap beats?
What for trap? No. I think most people know what type of music that we do. So most people hit us up for the type of beats that we do, and even though we would love to help everybody out, we have to take care of our stuff first. You know what I mean? So but as far as the problems you were mentioning before, it's not something that happens that often. Like usually everything is smooth, and people are cool, and so yeah.
Yeah, you guys seem mad fucking humble and shit. Like I couldn't see like the way you guys talking to me, you guys for the first time. I couldn't see somebody. Like, I couldn't see y'all like giving people problems or like developing problems. So it's like it would probably more so be on their end. I mean, at the end of the day, but it's the fucking game, man. Like people come and go. A lot of people just like to suck up other people's energies and successes, and that's the business aspect of it. But then you got the others where you got the hardcore fans like you guys got, where they want to come to every show, buy every merc, and then every CD. So it is definitely hard to balance that shit. I can only imagine, especially with the success you guys got. I mean, your plaques behind you speaks for itself. I mean, like a lot of people ain't got that. So it's like, it's a huge representation of what you guys accomplish and what you're doing. And at the end of the day, if people are not going to help in that success and they're not going to help you build, there's no point in them being around anyways. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, they're just eating off you. So, I mean, it is what it is.
But it's also, it's people like you, who pushing for the culture and doing what you're doing, basically, that brings us to the forefront. Like you said before, you tell everybody about it and shit, and that's very important, and I think we learned it the natural and the good way. So because I'm also a DJ, right? So I started out very young as a DJ, and I even in the 90s when I was spinning, I kind of learned how to read a crowd, really as a DJ, because as a DJ you have to read the crowd in order to keep the music going and see what kind of people want, and still balance it out with like what you actually want to play, because there's always two types. It's the same with hip hop in general, but with the DJs, it's either you just be a jukebox and play only the top 10 hits for the club, or you're gonna play your own style. But I think I learned in a good way in the 90s how you maneuver through with like reading a crowd and pleasing at least the majority, and still do my thing, you know. And I think we use the same formula now for Snowgoons, and not on the DJ level, but on the whole level, you know. And that helped a lot, though, I would say. But actually, I have a funny thing. Like, I was just, when you asked Sick about if somebody asked him for a trap beat, actually that happened to me, because, you know, I run the Real Snowgoons Instagram, basically, right? Like, the guys can all log in, but like mainly I'm posting shit. But anyway, I was going into the inbox. This must have been now easily 2 or maybe 3 years ago. And there was this kid, and he kept hitting me up, right? And he's like, yo, you're my favorite producer. I dream about one day working with you guys, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to check this guy out. And when I went on his page, like, he had a couple like freestyles and whatnot on it. And yo, I swear every track was like over trap beats and everything, you know, and his whole style and swag was like all kind of trap. And I was like going back to the message and read again. And he was really saying in the message that we are his famous producer. So I was like, what, you know, like, how is this going to fit? Like, I understand if you have a little trap and then maybe you do a boom bap beat or whatever, but like, I swear his whole shit was only like super trap shit, you know? And then I was like, how is this fitting together? You know, like sometimes I think people just want to talk or want to see a reaction, or I don't know, because it didn't make any sense to me, you know. And once again, it doesn't mean like if you like trap that you can't like even boom bap shit and whatever. It's all
Right.
good, you know. But if your whole style is like, on when I check you out, and your whole style is like all trap, like I don't see a single, like not even any type of different beat, you know, then, and I'm like, how is this like make any sense, you know? Like, you want the beat from us, because you know, then if you like us this much, you know what kind of music we're doing, you know.
Pretty
But
much
yeah,
the CD out the fucking window, pretty much.
yeah.
That's
If you would
pretty
have
much what
sent
you
me one,
said.
yeah.
I mean, 'cause I couldn't picture some rappers just being on one of your beats and just rapping about hoes and cash the whole fucking time. Because I probably would be kind of hurt by it. Like, yo, you ain't fucking hip hop. You don't deserve to be on them type of beats. I mean, that's just how it is. You know what I mean? You got your lyricists, you got your MCs, everything is split up. But then when you got someone that's just trying to benefit off of what the fuck we developed, just so you can make yourself famous, like, that shit's whack. Like, ain't nobody appreciates that shit. You know, because like I said with Rusty, like I said with Reef, with every person I've interviewed so far, I'm from the era where we step in the cipher, we battle, we handle shit. You know what I mean? So this new era, everybody's fucking user friendly. Or, you know, everybody wants to just, oh, I'm just gonna pay money, I'm gonna get in. It's like, if you trash, you trash. No matter how much fucking money you got in your pocket.
True.
So I mean,
Yep.
how do
Yep.
you handle it? How you got go about something like that? Like, you just block them, like, you know what, I'm not gonna pay no mind, or do you just straight up be like, listen,
Yeah,
I'm not.
definitely. I think I never responded to the kid, you know, because I mean, it's a wasting of time. Like Six said, we have to also kind of protect ourselves a little bit, you know. It's like, look, man, if I like, the time I have in my life, right, is like, I would say 80% music, right? So I have just a little time for like doing something different. That's fine. It's not complaining. I love it, you know. I love the music. So everything I do is basically music. But sometimes, of course, you're just gonna fall back and wanna watch Netflix and chill or whatever, or like whatever, you know. It's but yeah, so that time is kind of precious for me, you know. And if I check you out, then that's fine. But I don't waste my time and argue with people online, or then go forward and back for nothing, you know what I'm saying? If I see some talent, then I keep talking, you know, and that's the only thing that matters. And it doesn't matter to me if you're rich, if you're poor, if you're black or white, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you come up to me with respect and you show your skills and they're dope, then we keep talking, you know what I'm saying? That's how we always keep it in Snowgoons anyway.
It's how it should be. I mean, you know what I
Right.
mean? 'Cause at the end of the day, you guys are looked upon as like godly figures. Not to me, that might be kind of, you know what I mean, like saying it a bit much, but you guys are up there. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to be a Snowgoon. Everybody wants to rap with the Snowgoons. So the fact that you're willing to take other people in from off the street or from the gutter, from whatever, regardless of what their stature is amazing.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people need to learn from that, especially everyone that's listening or whatever's going to listen later when the shit is posted. Y'all need to do that. How you guys is handling yourselves is fucking perfect. It's what's going to help develop hip hop. It's not going to push us back down and make us feel less important. You know what I mean? Like,
Word.
So we definitely
Yeah,
appreciate that time because you know we all got fun, we all got kids, we all got families and shit. So
word. Yep,
it's
definitely,
it's
man. It,
definitely
you know, it's also
definitely
it's that
appreciated.
respect for the culture that we share. You know, it's like
Hmm.
because I look at it like this, man. Like, well, look, I'm from Germany, right? I wasn't growing up in the streets or some shit like that, you know. And then on the flip side, I also never really had shit, you know. And I don't want to complain or anything, but hip hop definitely gave me a purpose, you know. Like whatever, like when I look around, a lot of friends, and I don't want to put them down or anything. Like everybody got to do what he got to do and loves what he loves, whatever. But for me, it was always clear I'm gonna do something with music, you know, because I wasn't feeling like I still work a lot of stuff, you know, but like I just felt like the music was the thing I want to do, and that's why I keep working hard for it. And at the end of the day, it works out, you know, and that's the only thing I can also tell any new coming artist or anybody in general, you know, if you believe in yourself, then just go for it, you know, like do you and work hard. You just can't expect the success overnight, you know. That's the thing. That's like you said, like if you have money, it might help. But then at the end of the day, in this hip hop culture, you always will see the real from the fake ones, you know, in a long run, you know. You might get away a couple times with it, whatever, if you just use money or something. And I don't speaking about anybody specific, just in general. But in a long run, I think people will see through that, you know, and I think that's also a one reason for the success of Snowgoons, you know, because people see that the real part of it, you know, they see the realness in the music, and that's what people love about the Snowgoons too.
Right. Plus,
Yeah, I
plus
mean you could definitely see it.
we've been doing this for many years, you know, and in the music game, it's a lot of ups and downs, and we wouldn't be here if all those downs were too much. You know what I mean? Like it's like you gotta appreciate some of the obstacles and learn from them, and keep going. You know what I mean? Like if we love what we do, and that's why we're here still, and people know that. They know that now. So
It shows too. 'Cause you know what I'm saying? Like when I first hit y'all up, I'm like, yo, they're gonna instantly be like, fuck this. Because I mean, y'all huge in the game, and unfortunately, that's how a lot of shit is. I mean, it's expected in some cases, but the fact that y'all hit me back right away, and the fact that now meeting y'all and seeing exactly how you handle shit is perfect. 'Cause like I said, once again, like I feel like this is how hip hop's supposed to be. Like you guys, it might sound weird saying, it might sound kind of sad saying so, but I really kind of wish y'all grew up in New York. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the hip hop game probably could have been changed from the jump before it even got to the way it was, where dudes is rocking flip flops and spitting bars and shit. Like you would have had the goon music going all the way from the '90s all the way till today. So you know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's definitely good you guys are out here regardless. But yeah, nah, everything counts. Every little bit of time, every little cent. So you know what
That's
I mean?
true.
At the end of the day, it all matters. And I feel like, especially because what you guys said, how we started everything off with this conversation,
Mm.
friends. I mean, because
Exactly.
at the
Yep.
end of the
Yep.
day, if all else fails, if you got somebody behind you to hold you down, give you that last cent, the last shirt off their back and shit, it makes the music all the more better, you know. So I mean,
True. Yep.
that's
And
that's how it's supposed to be.
speaking about like family and shit, you know, I see Reef here in the comments. Like he just did a funny comment though, but like that's one of the family members of the Snowgoons, you know. When we clicked, like we just do everything out of fun, you know. And as you know, Reef, man, like he's one of the funniest guys ever, you know.
He
Like
a good dude. He a good
yeah,
dude. Yo,
he's
peace to
so good,
Reef, yo.
you know. Like and the thing is, I think that's another success part of the Snowgoons, because we have all these. When we have a Snowgoons album, it's always these hard hitting boom bap sound, right? And it comes to the front. But then we drop all these projects. For example, the Reef the Lost Cause album, which is just 10-year anniversary already, and and this project is definitely something different because Reef brought all his flavor into our beats, basically, right? And this brought up a whole new thing for the Snowgoons. And then, like we said, with the Savage Brothers, for example, you know, or then to keep even going like further with MOP or Onyx, you know, those albums, or with Nine. and now the same is gonna happen with Lords of the Underground when this shit gonna drop next year. You know, you will love that album. That's like a straight '90s type kind of shit thing. You know, and Lords really came through, man. Like they killed that shit. And also, which I really like about this project, man, it is so '90s, but in the same time, it kind of sounds new. You know, like it is something they managed to really like to pick out those certain beats that are like perfect for them and still keep their '90s shit, but they still sounding new, you know, in a way. So, but yeah, like I said, I think this is family members like Reef and all of them. They make the Snowgoons as well so big, you know. Sean Strange, Aspects. There is so many good dudes in our crew that
Right.
that we consider family members, basically, you know, and. So that's another big thing, you know, like the family business, basically, you know. And I was just saying too, like we also part of the 100 Mad crew with Onyx, Dope DOD, Snack the Ripper, and them, you know. And there's way more to it, you know. And because hip hop has always been a crew kind of thing anyway, in my opinion, you know. You have a couple solo artists, but if you look at it for real, like there is almost no rapper or anybody who could do it on his own, you know. You always have a DJ, you have a producer, you have a crew basically that gives you the backhold and pushes you, you know. And that's very important, and that's what we do with the Snowgoons as well. Like I mentioned the Snowgoons DJs before, you know, and everybody does his little part, but that brings up the whole team. And I think this is definitely a important thing that we always gonna keep up. That makes the Snowgoons the Snowgoons.
Exactly, man. I mean, you can hear it. You can hear it in the album, and you can hear it with Reef. Like you can hear how he flows like his shit, and how you guys kind of mesh together, even outside the music. You can kind of tell everything. I mean, it's hard for a lot of the fans to kind of understand shit because they see from the outside in. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time they automatically assume, oh, he's paying this, he's paying that, he's doing this and that. But at the end of the day, it seems like you guys all work together, where you're all pushing this shit. It's not just you pushing Reef; it's Reef pushing y'all, and vice versa. And that's how it's supposed to be. I mean, a lot of people don't get that point. They want everybody to do everything for them, like you said. There's no such thing as a fucking overnight success. It don't
Yeah,
happen that way. It takes
exactly.
time and effort. But at the end of the day, I mean, do you feel like outside the market shit, do you feel like hip hop can pay your way through life, or do you feel like you have to invest in these other opportunities alongside the music?
Well, you definitely have to invest, and if it's not the money, it's also the work that you put in, you know, and you have to have patience, man. Like that's another thing, and of course, it's like showing love, you know. Like yo, till today, if any of our homies dropping a project, I'm gonna do a story, I'm gonna share their project and everything, you know, and that's what just the family do, you know. But the basic of this is, if you're not doing this from the start and showing love to others, nobody will show you love either, you know. And
Facts.
even if you show a lot of love, there is not too many. And I don't want to pick out anybody specifically. I'm just saying in generally, even if you show a lot of love, there is not many people that show you love back, you know. And it's not even sometimes, I guess, on purpose or whatever. And I don't want to say I expect, like, you can't expect, basically, when you give love, you can't expect to get the love back the same way, you know. You have to maneuver through that and keep pushing. But we do still, man. Like it wouldn't matter if nobody would support us, we would still show the same love, you know, because that's just how we build, and that's I think what this game need, you know. And a lot of people know that, and they, you know, and they go with it, and that's why it works. And then other people don't, you know. So, and that's what you see in the long run. You will see that people that never really show love, they also not get that love back, in my opinion, you know, in the long run. Like I said before, it works a couple times maybe, you know, but in a long way, at the end of the day, they will stand somewhere kind of alone, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Now you can definitely tell by a lot of people's social media shit, a lot of the views and this and that. Cause I also remember when people were paying for views and paying for all this free shit and these robots and all this other funny style ass shit where it would just boost everybody's fucking shit. And you could tell when somebody faking the fucking funk. You know what I mean? Cause you got like 1 million views, but you only got like 10 likes. You looking suspect as fuck. You know what I'm
Right, right.
saying? That shit don't look right. It don't matter who you are. So you
True.
can kind of tell where they lie. And then if they sit there and be in your inbox every fucking time, like, yo, check my shit, check my shit, check my shit. But then when you go and be like, yo, check my shit, nah, I don't got time for that. It's like, this is why I ain't fucking with you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you have to reciprocate the respect and the love. That's the only way for it to work. You know?
True.
I definitely agree with you on that shit. Like, I feel like people, I don't know if it's the ego or it's just they're not understanding how the game is. I
Right,
mean,
right.
matter of fact, scratch that outside the game. It's not even about the game. It's life in general. Because if you don't treat
True.
another person with
Right.
respect and love, why the fuck should they treat you the same way at the end of the day? So,
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, you a
Yep.
dickhead in real life. You a dickhead in your music. I mean, I mean, I guess that's
True.
kind of how it is.
Yep.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? I've all the people I've met so far. I've met you guys. I've met Reef. I've met Aztec. I've met fucking Keo Itachi's in the building. Like all these people,
Yeah.
Rusty,
Well.
all y'all is good dudes, and that's good because I did meet a lot of legends in my time, and a lot of them were
Hmm.
kind of dickheads. To be honest with you, I ain't saying no names, no nothing, but
Right.
dickheads.
Right.
Like
Right.
you be like trying to give them dap type shit, like yo, what's good, yo, I love your music. They'd be like, yo, fuck off, I don't got time for you. Like, all right.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is, but damn, like that's kind of crazy. I'm buying all your fucking albums, investing my little money into it, and trying to push your shit. You acting like that? Nah, I ain't fucking with you then. Like, I mean,
True.
that's just how I feel.
That's
So
sad.
that's
Yep. Yep. But it
it's
happens.
got
Yeah.
it's got to
Man.
work.
Man, I was working as a tour manager like before the Snowgoon shit really popped off because, I came off as a DJ in the 90s, but then during the early 2000s, I wasn't really feeling like doing much DJing because that's when all the crunch shit came up and the club shit, and it was really popping. Like, because in the 90s, I could spin my shit that I really liked, right? And then in the 2000s, that's when like a lot of DJs turned into jukeboxes, and I wasn't with that though. Like, it's all good, you got to do what you got to do, but I wasn't just feeling like playing 10 times in a row fucking Usher yeah and shit. So I was like, fuck
Word.
that shit. I'm not doing it. So I was also working as a tour manager, and I was around a lot of artists during like the 2000s, a lot of good people, and I made a lot of good friends with artists. But then of course, like you said, here and there is some people, that are really like, I don't know, you can't say it else, like dickheads, like they have a crazy ego or whatever. And then of course you can't judge a person on like a day or whatever, because maybe everybody got a bad day, and maybe you met that person on that day and he just looks bad and mad and whatever, but he's actually not. So, but during a tour, when you tour with somebody for like 2-3 weeks all over Europe and shit, and you've been through different situations, like long traveling, waiting on airports, meeting people on shows and all of this shit. And yeah, and then there was some artists where I really would say like, man, like this guy, like he has the ego. And then also, what the funny part is, some, not every time, but like most of the times, you see those artists, they never coming back, on tour, because they fucking up relationships with promoters, with booking agencies, and in general, like you and I. And once again, I don't speaking about anybody specific, just in general, but I've seen that though. I've seen that. Like I was thinking like, yo, this guy acting like an asshole. And all I hear from a lot of promoters saying the same shit, like, oh man, da da da. So, and then I was like, okay, see, it's kind of true, like it's always that respect that you give out, that and if you don't give out respect, then well, you don't get respect back. It's simple as that.
Very much, very much. That's crazy. He said Usher. So if somebody was to, yo, let me just ask, yo, if somebody was to come to you, like, yo, illegal, can you fucking spin some Lil Yachty? What's gonna be your answer?
Oh shit, nah, man. Like it's,
He's like, nah, fuck
I
that. You
mean,
need to get out of
nowadays,
here.
nowadays people know. I'm glad I established myself on a level where people that book me, they know I play my shit. So
Hmm.
I wasn't even really playing in any like club type kind of shit per se. But funny thing happened. Like I can't remember where it was. Sick. Where was this? Where we were spinning after the MOP show? Was this in Switzerland or something?
That that was in Austria.
Mike's kind of going off, I think.
Audience. Speaking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is something wrong with your
Yeah,
mic? I couldn't tell if it was
you
on my side or not.
yeah, your mic
Yeah, it was kind of
was cutting
in and
off.
out. I couldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like in and
yeah,
out. It's saying like
yeah.
we
I
missed that
think
whole dope ass story.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
kind of tight right now. You know what I mean? I wanted to hear that whole
yeah.
story.
Yeah. We were in Austria though. We were performing with MOP, and I think Illegal is mentioning like an after party show that where we were spinning us and Lil Fame, who's also dope on the turntables, and yeah, and then then the point comes that I'm not really sure about. Illegal, you there? Yo,
Hmm.
it's breaking up.
Let me see.
Audio
You
song.
uh you you try to dip out right quick, and I might have to reinvite you. Like I guess probably what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause it's kind of lagging. I thought it was just me, yo. I was like, yo, is my shit fucking
Yeah, I
up?
thought it was me too. I was like,
Yo, you able to hear us? Trying to message him.
hmm.
Yeah, you can hear us? Trying to figure out how to handle that because I can't tell if it's his mic or if it's the his connection. Yeah, just as soon as everything got started getting good as shit, fucking Instagram. Um, yeah, I'm gonna just have him leave real quick, and I'm gonna reinvite him
Hmm.
and shit.
Good idea.
Yeah, yeah, but yo, your beats are fire, bro. I'm just putting that out there too. Like, definitely set the bar
Appreciate
for
you,
a
man.
lot of producers.
Thanks, man. We do our
Like,
best. Like we work hard at it, man. Like it's like hard work every day, but it's dope work. You know what I mean? Like it's good. It's good to do it. You know, it feels good. I knocked out three
exactly,
beats today, and it's probably not all three that are gonna be used, but it's like if one of them is getting used and it turns out to be a good joint, then I'm a happy guy. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
yeah,
here we go.
exactly, yo.
Right. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we
Can you
go.
hear
So,
me now?
yo,
Okay.
bro, you were talking about the show we did in Austria.
Right.
with
Oh, it
MOP,
was good.
and then there was an after party where we were spinning with Lil Fame, right?
Right.
That was the one.
Yeah, yeah. That was crazy. That was mad fun, you know.
Mhm.
And it was so spontaneous because like we wasn't even aware like that there is an after party, and you know,
Right,
me and Sid usually not like the after party guys, you know. We
right,
hang around a little bit after the show, meet the people, and hang out for a minute, you know, as whatever we feel like. But then we're not the type who's like all the way up in the morning drinking and kicking it, you know.
right.
And
Word.
only really if we feel it, but that's rare. That's really rare, you know. But anyway, after the show, it was just a good vibe, and you know, and yo, Fame and Billy, they're so, and Lace, you know, they're so funny, man. Like they like just to have fun too, you know. So after the show, they was taking over this club basically where we performed, and yo, it was just nuts. We start spinning, and Sick was hosting a little bit, and then Fame came, you know, and like yo, I didn't even know, man. Fame can really cut it up on the turntables too, you
Yeah,
know.
he's good with that, man. Like,
Yeah, he was
yeah,
doing a thing, you know, and it was just such a fun night, man. Like, cause you could tell we all just had fun, and we was just playing fire tracks from Wu to whatever, you know, and then we realized, man, yo, this is fucking MOP standing right here, you know, and we just like acting fools here and having fun with hip hop, you know. That was super dope.
yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm guessing he ain't playing no trap music either, huh? I couldn't picture that shit. Like him just throwing out some freestyle dance music and saying everybody started breakdancing or some shit. Like,
Mhm.
word, yo. But no, that's cool though, man. Like that, you guys don't be partying and doing all that shit. I mean, there's work to be done. So I mean, at the end of the day, you know, like you guys are focused. Like you got that tunnel vision. That's perfect. That's how
Oh
it's
yeah,
supposed to be. Like that's why you guys don't get distracted by the bullshit. You don't deal with the you know what I mean? The shit that's gonna distract you from your dreams and shit. Like
Mhm.
right, right.
that goes for everybody. You know, everybody that's listening to this shit, you can clearly see it. Like for those that didn't hear earlier, you know, like we all struggle to get to where we're at, especially them, and look where they're at now. So it's a proven fact, man. Don't let nobody put your shit down. Keep pushing, keep bettering yourself every day. I look at it, if you're an artist or you're a producer, whatever it is, and you just tell people you're done, you're at your best, you're not done. You're never done. You know what I'm saying? Like if you feel that
True.
way, then you're missing out on other opportunities. You got to always be ready to learn and absorb and you know what I'm saying, and do all types of shit to get where you gotta be. So
Right.
Word.
And the thing is, like me and DJ Legal, we've been doing this for so many years. Like even before we met each other, we've been doing it for many years. You know what I mean? And it's like this. Like if we never got to tour overseas, or if we never got to have some sort of success in underground hip hop, then we would still be doing it right now. Like we would still do music even without
True.
the success, even without the releases. We would still do it for ourselves, like as a hobby. You know, it's because we like to do it. You know, and I think that's also an important thing to mention, like to all the people that are struggling right now. Like you can't struggle to get to, like to a certain kind of goal, like in life in general. I think, like especially in music, because if you want to make it in music, it's the wrong goal. The goal should be to enjoy yourself. It like to nothing comes easy, but it has to feel right. You know what I mean? Like if it doesn't feel right, like why are you
Mhm.
doing it? Like you could make money or have success in other ways. You know what I'm saying? Like we never did this for the money. We never did this for the success. In my opinion, it's like we're still underground, and yeah, we have some certain kind of success, but if it's not why we're doing it. We just keep going, and then we try to expand, and we try to reach out to people. We see hip hop as a community. We love to connect with people and do music and try new things. And whether it's DJ Legal trying new designs for shirts or hoodies or hats, or it's me trying new ideas for beats, or trying to different sounds out, or whatever, or different types of mixes to make the drums stand out better, or whatever it is, man. Like it's just like something that's part of us that helps us grow. You know what I mean? And that's why we can't leave it alone, man. Like we just keep going. So
I mean,
Exactly.
hence the words like I mean, like you can't do something if you don't love to do it. So at the
Right.
end, like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, there's no point of being successful. I mean, there is a point of being successful, the money aspect, but if you
Hmm.
can't enjoy it, then it kind of just takes the whole point away from it. You know what I mean? Like there's no point. I mean, it's like doing a dead end
Right.
job. You don't love doing it. Yeah, you're doing it for money, but at the end of the day, just find something better. Like just move on. Like try to find something you enjoy. You can do the rest of your life. Because in a way, hip hop is the culture. You know what I mean? We are the culture. But at the same time, you know what I mean? It's like it is a career. You know, in a sense, it is a career because you can live off this to a certain aspect. You can do certain
Mm.
things, but we still have to look at it from the business part too. But fuck that, because I'd rather listen to dope ass music all day. You know what I mean? Just listen to artists, just do all types of dope ass music. Ain't nothing better than that. You know, like I could see someone being 100 years old still doing this shit. I would.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fucking arthritis and all, still in the hands, fucking hitting the drum pads. Like that's just how I look at it. Like that's the beautiful thing about hip hop. Like that's what separates us from the trap niggas. You know what I mean? Because they all in it for the money and get older, they done with it. You know what I mean? Can't make money no more. But with us, it's like we can do this shit till we're fucking 200 plus and still be jamming to some dope ass shit, making some dope ass shit. So
Right.
it is definitely good to love what you're doing, especially like we said with each other. Like you know what I mean? If you're working with good people and shit, we all appreciate each other's shit. We compliment each other's styles. Like you guys compliment each other. You know what I mean? You're the
Yep.
DJ. You know what you're doing. He's the beat producer. And y'all put together some fucking magic. So that's what makes it what it is. I mean, like you said with the groups, like I feel like groups are better
Mm.
in a way. I mean, solo artists are cool. Like, I mean, they all have their own shape, but I feel like there's more energy coming out of a group because you have more to stand for. You have more people backing you up, and there's just more involved into the shit.
True
Like,
that. Yep. Yep.
I mean, what do you guys think? Like, as far as like further down the line, you guys feel like you want to do like a documentary or some shit about your whole entire from beginning to end? Like, you want to do some type of book? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not really a concern or idea for us right now. You know, we're still living in the moment and we still loving to create the music. Like Six said, now the new single is coming in about 2 weeks, and it's basically a celebration of what the Snowgoons are. You know, and and that's what we actually doing right now. It's more or less really like living the moment. You know, so. And we definitely want to always give a platform on Goon Music for upcoming and new artists or other unknown artists, you know. That has always also been an important part of Snowgoons, because if you look on the Snowgoons albums, you always found a handful of artists that barely been have heard or even like, you know, for example, the Black Snow album, the second our probably biggest album, you know, and that was the first time Signature was involved as well, and that's why I always see this as the real start of the Snowgoons. Um, we had a handful of artists, especially from Philly, obviously connected to Reeve, thanks to DJ Stress, you know, who linked us up with Vivo the Virus, rest in peace, Side Effect, Brainstorm. This was all like kids that barely even in New York nobody knew, you know, at the time, and we all start working with them, and I wouldn't say that we was the jumbo for them or anything, but it's just like it always like was a thing that Snowgoons was doing, like giving like unknown artists like a hand, you know, and and we still do this till today, man. Like we always reach out to new people, especially also now with what I mentioned with the first of the month, this new series. Next year we're gonna drop a couple new singles from probably you will have never heard of these artists before, you know, but we want to give them a little spotlight and see how it goes, you know. Um, but yeah, to going back to the question, you know, that's why I'm saying like we're living in the moment now and not focused on doing some sort of documentation, you know. But then again, the wall behind me, for example, speaks for itself, you know. It's like we're still building the legacy, kind of, you know, and like you said, man, like I don't know, I'm gonna rock stages probably till the end of my days, you know. I don't know. it maybe sound funny, but like
Yeah.
I can see doing that, you know, and or at least definitely doing music, you know, definitely doing beats,
Right.
like because I cannot see why if I get older, why should I lose interest in doing that, you know? As long as I love the music, I will definitely do that. So till the casket drops, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Word. Well, I'm saying, you say you always drafting people, man. Yo, I make beats. What's good? Nah,
Word. Send some shit over, you know.
no doubt, no doubt. Nah, but I love that about y'all, man. That shit is so awesome. How you just bring people in like that, yo. Like I said, because you know what I'm saying, record labels, a lot of them don't do that shit. They just pick whatever's fucking popping at that time. You guys are drafting people fresh out the ground type shit. You know what I mean? So that shit's dope. And you could tell the raw skill that a lot of the people you bringing in, and it's fucking
Hmm.
lovely. Plus the fact that you guys have artists that don't speak English or they switch between English and vice versa, it makes your fucking market phenomenal for everything that hip hop is, which is beautiful. Because this way people in your country can also enjoy it, appreciate it, and vice versa for other countries and shit. So
Yep.
that shit is dope, man. You ever think about picking up another language? Pick up Japanese or some shit?
Well, you know, Sig is from Copenhagen, so his mother tongue, for me the same. You know, I speak German first, basically, and Sig speaks Danish first. So we're already picking up other languages. And then, for example, I was living in Sweden for a minute, and I picked up some Swedish. You know, and I wouldn't say that I speak really Swedish, but definitely I understand a lot and I know a little. You know, and it's but yeah, I think languages are dope. Like Spanish, for example, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
love Spanish,
Yeah,
and
me
I
too.
pick up a lot of shit. You know, I have family in Spain, so it's like I'm connected in a way, and yeah, like languages are beautiful, man, definitely. Or you know, we used to or we still work with these kids called Killer Kiki from Hungary,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like a super dope hip hop group from Hungary, and they have their own fan base. They have millions of views and shit, you know, like all in Hungary. Like, and yo, trust me, like their fan base is 99% Hungarians, you know, because who else outside of Hungary is listening to Hungarian hip hop, you know, and but they have so much dedicated fans and so we did already 2 projects with them more or less, or like we did a lot of joints with them basically, and that brought us on the Hungarian market. You know, like a lot of kids know who we are there, and we love to go there. We used to tour heavy in Hungary as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I think after COVID, we probably go back there and pick up the work with Killer Kick It again. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
but that's the beauty of hip hop, man. Like, cause hip hop is a universal language. You know, it's like it's man. When I was start listening hip hop, I wasn't even speaking English. I was just speaking German. I was a kid. You know, I could
Yeah,
not
me
speak
too.
another language,
Right.
but I was listening to the message. You know, and I could like hear the fire in the words, you know, without even understanding a single word, more or less, you know. But I could hear the fire in there, and that's how I fell in love with hip hop before I even understand the word. And that's why, for me, it's proof that hip hop is definitely a universal language, you know. And
Hmm.
and then in the late '80s, I loved then like Public Enemy, you know, like all this shit, and yo, I barely spoke English, but I kind of still understood what's going on in a sentence, you know, and I was feeling it through the music, man. You could tell in the power of the music, you know, what's really going on, and that's what I always loved about hip hop as well, you know, because hip hop is definitely an if you want to say it, an emotional music, you know, on many
Mm-hmm.
levels, you know, and that's one aspect of hip hop that I always loved, man. Like it, there's even a single beat, like an instrumental by DJ Premier, for example, you know, certain beats that can really touch me. Like I feel that beat and I can listen to it for like, I remember in the 90s, I used to play some records like a 12-inch where there is the instrumental after the track. I was bumping the track and then I was bumping the whole instrumental just because I loved it, you know, like the sound and everything. And that's what I really actually also love about hip hop and the music, you know, that connection that doesn't matter where you're from, what you speak, what you are, or what you do, you know. It's just the music there and you can feel it, that feeling, you know.
Right.
Word, yo, I got a question for Sick, yo. As a beat producer to another beat producer, do you feel like you ever come across beats that you feel are just so fucking fire, you don't even want to hand them out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It happens. It happens. Like usually I put them aside because I rap too, and then I put them aside, and then I pick them up later and listen to them. But it's like um, even though I have like certain preferences, I think that a lot of rappers might not find that particular beat as ill as I do. Like sometimes I get surprised about like over like what type of beat the rapper picks. You know what I'm saying? Like a certain rapper's pick. I could sit down and be like, this is gonna be the best beat for this rapper or that rapper, and they might pick the third beat that I never imagined them picking. So, and we see that all the time with Snowgoons too. Like sometimes, like, oh, he jumped on that, or he wanted to go on that, and so, but yeah, to answer your question, it happens here and there, and then I usually put them aside or send them to DJ Legal. So, you know,
Word, yo. What do when you think about like the whole beat process and shit, like do you feel like you love sampling over self-made shit?
um, well, it's like, I've been producing beats for so long that I see it as a process of always getting better at something. You know what I mean? Like it's like first, like there was all this like get like you have to understand, like I started making beats with a record player and a keyboard, like a small Casio keyboard, like almost a children's keyboard, and I
I
tried
remember
to
them days.
match it. So in the beginning it was all about synchronization, you know what I mean, because I couldn't afford a computer back then. But then when I got to afford a small Atari computer back then, so I could synchronize it. It was all about, all right, what can I do to kind of not make it as linear, or how do you say it, like to make some different type of breaks in the drums, or make them go in a like in a different way, because back then it was all about loops, right? And now all of a sudden I had a synchronization program, and now I could put in some more kicks and put in like a drum roll or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then I was experimenting with that, and then it got to like later it was like starting to play my own, like the bass line, and so, and here I am, like 20 something years later, man, like still going hard, trying to improve myself. And so I don't have like a certain kind of template. I just usually just sit down and figure out what can I do that I haven't done yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can I do that I haven't tried out yet? Like, I just sent DJ Legal 3 beats today, and like a couple of those beats were like beats that I tried to do something different, like a little bit, and still keep that sound that I like, and that I have, like, you know what I mean? And combine it with a little bit of new things, you know what I mean? How can I, I play the guitar a little bit, I play the piano a little bit, and then I try to
Oh, that's what's
combine
up.
those things, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about, to me, it's like it's all about the process. It's all about having fun with making music and being in the moment, like DJ Legal said, like when he answered your question about doing a documentary. We're so much in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know um I just try to have fun while I do it, and try to grow as a musician, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's how DJ Legal works too when he produces beats. You know what I'm saying? Like he goes in a different direction with a different type of drum loop, and then he slows it down more than he usually does, or whatever. It's just the little things. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you understand, like you do that too. Like as a producer, you always try to do new things, and I guess that's
Yeah,
part of it.
always try to level up somehow. Find something different, add it in, you know what I mean, blend it in, just
Mhm.
use shit that no one else has used. And, I mean, because my sample base is always just outside of the states. 'Cause I always felt like better music came from international waters. I mean, that's just me though. Like, I mean, we got our classics obviously, but at the same time, Japan has like a whole fucking like shit, like their shit is crazy, and the you guys got.
Yeah.
I've heard some samples from Germany that just blew my fucking mind. Like, so that's kind of what I go for. I mean, I can fuck with the self-made shit too, but I don't know. I just feel like hip hop is sample based. You know what I mean? Like it started with, you know what I mean, back then. It's
Right.
always samples. So it's like, even if you chop up a drum loop and shit and just make it into your own shit, all that shit is beautiful and shit. So that's why I figured I'd ask. Unfortunately, a lot of producers, it's like, I don't even, some of them will be like, I don't even touch samples. I don't fuck with samples. And it's just like, I feel like you're kind of missing out though. Because it's a lot of fun to chop a sample, to sit there, tweak it, and fuck with it. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why I figured I'd ask that shit. My next question was going to be, who haven't you worked with that you guys want to work with next?
Oof, I think everybody got his personal favors, and it's not a secret though. Like for me personal, and I guess that goes for everybody in the crew, would be definitely like working with Nas. Like you mentioned him before too. I mean, Nas is still the GOAT, and I think we all came up definitely like, even if I was listening already in the 80s to hip hop and shit, and I love Rakim and all the classic shit, I was still kind of like, what really catched me was like the early 90s, when I never forget when I was in a record store, and because back then there was no internet, so the only way to listen to new music was going to the actual record store, and
Mm-hmm.
I I guess I saw the album Illmatic, right? And then I was playing it, and I just never forget, man. Like I was listening to the album in the store, right? The whole album, like that's how it kind of hypnotic it got me, right? And then back then you bought the album, and then you had to go home to play the record. Nowadays you have all the music on your phone. You can listen to music wherever you want, technically, right? But this wasn't the
Word.
way back then. And I was growing up in a little village where there was even now no real record store. There was a super small record spot, but they had only a couple of records. So I had to go to the next big city, It's like kind of, let's say if you lived somewhere in Jersey and you had to go to New York to go to get some records, right? Like back then or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I had to drive at least an hour or longer to the next big city in south of Germany, like Stuttgart or something like that. And so I went to the record store, bought the Illmatic album because I was listening all in the store already. And then I remember I was driving so fast home because I just wanted to go home and listen to the album again, And and that's how it was. And then when I was home, I was listening to the album over and over again. But so yeah, for me it would be definitely nice to work with one day, maybe hopefully, like either track a verse, whatever it is, just to work with Nas, for me personal.
Yeah, definitely, yo. He a legend. Definitely my top five, yo. What about you, What about you, Sick? You got any favorites you would want to hear on your beats if you ain't yet?
I feel the same as DJ Legal. I think
Nas.
we're part of that fan base, both of us. It's
Right.
I
And
remember yeah, because it was that album came around, and I remember hearing "It Ain't Hard to Tell," that song. I was like, who is this? Like, this is dope, And then my brother bought the CD and bumped it, and I was like, yo, what is this? So I basically stole his CD, or I borrowed it. He never got it back though. He's okay with it, but
You can
I
buy a new
borrowed it
one
and
now.
I bumped it all the time. You know what I mean? So I'm a huge Nas fan, and I loved the second album too when it came out. I was like, yeah, man, I was blown away.
right,
So yeah, but there are certain groups that will be, you know, uh, great to work with, and certain rappers that were great to work with. You know what I mean? Like, so like there's so many that we haven't worked with yet, even though we've worked with a
right,
big
right.
handful.
And then
You know?
on the flip side, man, we already worked with a lot of legends, man, which I never would have thought that we would do, like from Onyx to MOP to Nine, Lords of the Underground, PMD, we did the Goondocks project with John Strange and PMD, man. Like it's, and these are full projects, I'm not talking only like features. Like we did a lot of joints with like Edo G, Sean P and all them, but but like we have even full albums with these guys, you know. And for me as a hip hop fan, it's still sometimes unreal, you know, because in the 90s, like Six said, I was in front of the TV, and when there was no internet, like Yo MTV Raps was the best thing there is, basically, you know. You see all the videos, and I was first time seeing like Onyx Slam, you know, and I was like, yo, this shit is crazy, you know. I was stumbling
Word,
in
yo.
front of the TV. And now we are friends and doing music, you know, so that's sometimes a little unreal, you know. But yeah, man, like, so basically let's hope one day we will work with Nas, baby.
I don't see why not, man, because, you know what I'm saying? If he can fuck with DJ Khaled, he need to fuck with the Snowgoons. I mean, that's just how I see it. And he would go perfect on some shit you guys got, especially like the old school Nas. If he was to flip it back, you know what I mean?
Word.
So that's just dope, man. What's why y'all guys ever think of doing some verse type shit in the future? Like who you think you would go against in like a verse shit?
Well, yeah, it's funny. I was talking to Fredro actually like already last year, you know, when the verses came up and shit, and with Corona, we had some cool ideas, you know, to do our own kind of underground verses, for example, you know.
Oh
But not
shit.
like with the Snowgoons, but like we would hosting it basically on an underground level. But yeah, it would be, because, you know, we had already once the idea to drop an album with MOP versus Onyx. That was basically a pre-versus already, like years ago. We had that idea in 2017 or something, you know, and we start kind of working on the project, but it kind of fell apart because at the time it wasn't just the right time, I guess, because everybody was focused on their shit more, and even we had a new project coming out, and you know, so it wasn't the right time, you know, because eventually it will happen. So the Snowgoons will present one day maybe Onyx versus MOP on a record, you know. Um, but again, it wasn't the right time, I guess. That's why it never happened, you know. But well, this idea is not off the table. I can say that, you know. But yeah, I mean, me and Fredro was talking about the underground versus underground version kind of way, where you had lots of the underground versus Das Effects, for example, you know, or actually MOP versus Onyx, and you know, there was a lot of dope combos that you could that you could do, man, like from especially from the 90s with some dope groups.
Yeah, I definitely I feel like if that type of shit was to happen, like for the underground unit, you guys are probably the best people to go to for that, to be honest with you. Because the versus shit they're doing now is all right. You know what I mean?
Right.
They got some shit, but I
Right.
know you guys' taste in hip hop is hip hop. You know what I mean? It's not like you know what I mean? Like you're gonna put together a well structured shit. So that's something that definitely would shit. I would love to see that shit. Word. But what you guys think about doing a TV like joint, like a podcast or something? You know what I mean? To further push it out.
Yeah, also we had already the idea for a Goon TV series that I actually have already a couple episodes, where we just took advantage from traveling so much too, you know, like we going back to New York all the time, not even for touring. We just sometimes come to New York, hang out and doing videos and stuff like that, going to the studio. And so we had this idea for the Goon TV, but everything kind of, you know, I would say sidetracked it a little bit because we so much focused on the music right now. And,
And
you
also
know,
with
like I
the
said before, man, yeah,
what,
you know,
so
we go
excuse
with the flow. Yo,
yeah,
can you hear me?
excuse me, bro. Also, like with the Goon TV is also because of
Mhm.
the travel situations right now. Like
Right,
it's kind of hard to do
yeah,
that. You know what I mean? So but yeah,
Or
exactly, you
like,
know.
well, saying like, say if you got like, because I mean, like you guys got a huge army and shit. So say if you guys were to hire somebody, if not even getting paid, like just have them broadcast some shit like on a weekly basis and just play y'all joints, and then whoever else is from like that don't have a name yet, shit like that. Like if that's something you would be interested in, where you guys don't even really have to partake fully into it because you guys already invested in the music aspect. Like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, that would be definitely
hmm
something that we could do for sure.
yeah,
Like I said, once again, we just so much focus now on our album and the albums, basically the projects.
right,
And you know, it takes really a lot of time, man. Like sometimes people, and of course, at the end of the day, it doesn't really take too much nowadays to do a track, you know, and you can record it and put it online, whatever, on YouTube, Spotify. You can easily upload it nowadays by yourself, you know, it doesn't cost you that much. But then to release a real album, a real project where you actually put a lot of work in and thoughts and everything, you know, because once again, we just not want to put out the project to just put it out and have some music out and going. Everything we do, man, is like, there is stories behind, there is ideas behind, you know, there is power behind, there is love behind. So and this takes time, you know, like, even if it does look simple, but yo, we put out albums sometimes with 20 tracks, and we have 50, 60 artists on these albums, you know. And it might look easy once you have that playlist on Spotify, but actually dealing with one artist on a daily basis is kind of work, you know. And now see this equivalent time 50 or 60, because you have to navigate with everybody on the album, you know. You have to collect their credits, you have to speak forward and back for ideas, you have to confirm mix downs, you have to confirm artworks, all that stuff, you know. It's like a really a long list of stuff to do before you even can put something out. And I think we put so much energy and time into that allows us not you know, to do those other things, like you said, you know. It was same with the merchandise, the Goons gear, you know. So we gave it up now, and these guys doing the Goons gear shit, and we stand fully behind it, and everything goes hand in hand. But yeah, I think for now the focus is definitely the music, you know, because I think this is what drives us the most, what makes us the biggest fun of it, basically. So we keep rolling with that.
Rob, for some people that kind of don't understand how the game is, like, to kind of elaborate a little bit, do you feel like the income comes more from the merchandise or from the streams?
Well, I mean, you know, in our situation, it combines everything, you know.
Right.
Like, it's a balance of everything, you know. Like, I mean, obviously we make some money off of music, but then again, I think we don't do the commercial music to really just live off of music, you know. Because, you know, me as a DJ, for example, I could have choose in the early 2000s to maybe become Germany's biggest crunk DJ, you know. Like, I don't, you know, I mean, honestly, as far as the skills, I could do it, you know, that wouldn't be a problem. But this is just not what I would love, you know. And I've seen some fellows, like DJ homies that I knew from back then. They made like tons of money because they were spinning on like super commercial parties, like playing EDME music and whatnot, you know, all types of shit. And this is fine, you know. I'm not judging these guys, you know. They make their money and everything, and they're getting good money, you know, from a club. Like, you can easily live off good as a DJ making, if you spend every weekend commercial music, you can really live very well, you know. But that was just nothing for me. So once again, it's definitely the hustle combined, you know, from like selling music, doing merchandise, and being on the road, basically, which is very tough right now, obviously. To be exact, we had only one festival this year. We had a festival in Finland. That was our only show this year, you know. Right. So we definitely ready next year to hit the road again, you know. Right. We fully loaded, and because we always have fun on the road, you know. And and then once you will hear the new single, man, in 2 weeks, you will see this is a live banger, you know. And we can't wait to finally perform that next year, you know. Like, because I'm certain it will go back to touring and shows next year, you know, like way more than than this year, obviously. So we will come really hard and strong.
Yeah. And what about you, Six? Same question, but for you it's a little different. So you sell beats too, right? Like, you're not just the in-house. You also sell beats to artists that are willing to buy your beats.
Not that often. Very rarely I do that. I don't sell beats like that. Like if it's somebody that I know and that I like, as far as a person or as an MC or whatever, you know, we work something out. But other than that, I don't really put beats up for sale like that. Like, I would rather, you know, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just. I guess I'm just so busy, like with doing our thing and stuff like that, you know, so that I don't have to, you know. And but
Right.
yeah, man, it's
And
but yeah, it's like as far as the income, you know, it's definitely a combination of many things. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, every little step on the way is an opportunity to, you know, generate something in the other end. Like us having an interview, maybe somebody go stream our music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and we have fun along the way. You know what I'm saying? Like we just,
exactly.
you
Yep.
know, do our
Big shout
thing.
So
out.
you guys definitely stay true to your moral then, because you guys
Right.
always say it's not about the money, it's about the music. It clearly shows because you're not out there selling your beats like that. You staying true to your group. That's it.
Yep.
That's dope. I mean,
Right. I
Right.
mean, I mean, it's I'm not first of all, man. Like if you're a producer out there and you sell beats, go make that cake. You know what I'm saying? Go make that money. You know what I mean? I'm not judging anyone for doing that. Like we all have bills to pay. So
word.
I don't hate on that at all. I don't say it's a wrong thing. I just personally for me, I don't have to right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to invest in our group. I have to invest in myself as a solo artist. I have to invest in the small group of the small circle of rappers that I call friends and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I'm just very privileged right now that all the hard work and all the money that I invested and all the time that I invested and we invested in all we do led us to this point right now where we are actually privileged enough to say that we don't have to sell beats like a lot of other producers. We do it here and there, but it's we rarely do it. We don't do it that much, you know.
Right. I mean, we're
Right.
very specific. We're very specific about the people we work with, basically, you know. And like Six said, if we know each other, it's a different level, you know. And a big shout out to the homie Bad Seed who's up in here, and
Yeah, peace to bad
you
seed,
know,
yo.
yeah, he you know, for it's a good thing. He's a good example. Like he hit us up not long ago, and I of course always listen to his music, you know, and he's dope. And when he hit us up, it was a no brainer, you know. We was like, of course, let's do something, you know. And now we're working, and we already he put out some shit that we produced, and you will hear we will come next year also with some heat for sure, you know. And that's like I said, we are very specific with people that we fuck with basically. And I guess that what also makes, I think, the Snowgoons, that's a little part of the success as well, you know, because we just not kind of and like Six said, it's nothing wrong if you're a producer and you sell your beats, that's fine, you know, that's cool, do you get your hustle. But I think that's a part of the Snowgoon success as well, that we just didn't really fuck with everybody. And that's not disrespectful to anybody. It's just because we were so much focused and so specific about what we're doing, that we, you know, wasn't just doing the beat selling thing, you know. And I think that kind of helped a little bit too, the Snowgoons to be where we at right now, you know.
Word.
Word. I don't doubt. So what about for you, Sick? I got this question, yo. What if somebody just walks up to you randomly like, yo, let's get a cipher going. You gonna hop in it?
It depends on my mood. Depends on how tired I am after changing diapers all day. It depends on
Word.
how tired I am after being on the road for 14 hours or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it really depends, man. Like it depends. It's a mood thing, you know. To me, everything about music is mood, you know. And I try to stay in a good space, try to stay in a good mood, and so I can make as much music as possible. But to be honest with you, man, like I have so many beats that I've been working on for so many years. I've been writing so many songs that I'm not really focused on the cypher stuff. But, you know, if I have fun with it and I'm in a good mood, why not? You know what I mean? Like, of course, you know.
But
So
I
it
think I
all
mentioned that. You know
depends.
what I'm saying? A lot of
What?
artists nowadays they can't do that. They can't hop in the cipher without having a fucking phone in front of them or whatever the fuck they doing.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So that's
You
good
know,
to
for
know. You
example,
you
yeah, for example, if we do live shows, man, like sometimes I throw in some little freestyles here and there to kind of make it like more personal where we are, you know what I mean? But it's not really my main focus, and I'm not the first rapper to jump in front of a camera or jump into a cipher and go all crazy or anything. I don't know. I'm just, I don't know. It's just, you know, we're just so focused on what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like DJ Illegal said, like we're so much enjoying the ride that we don't, like, you know what I mean? Like we don't really think about too many things other than like making music and trying to push the brand, and because that's what we think is fun. But by all means, if there's a cipher somewhere and it seems fun, like why not jump in it? And you know what I mean? But you know,
Word.
kind of depends.
Word. I feel you, man. I mean, because you got to do work a lot, you know, it's obvious. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it has to be in the mood. I definitely feel you on that shit. You're tired and you're driving all fucking day, and you got to deal with your kids, and you got to deal with
Right.
fucking shows and shit. It's like, yeah, I feel you on that shit. I figured I'd
Right.
ask you, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of rappers don't freestyle no more. I feel like that's like a
Right.
lost chapter in hip hop. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone
Mm-hmm.
said they freestyle, but let's keep it a buck. It's
Mm-hmm.
premeditated. A lot of this shit is premeditated, which is okay because it's dope.
Mm-hmm.
It's still dope, but at the end of the day, freestyling, battling, and shit like that. Like I feel like that also made up the MC. So
Mm-hmm. Of
you know what I
course.
mean? It's
Of
good that
course.
you
Like
still do
I
that.
and I've been doing that. I've been doing that when I was younger. Like, but at some point, I guess I just turned more into a musician too. But it's happening every time we do a show. Like every time we do a show, I'm in that mind state that everything can happen. You know what I mean? Or anything can happen, and I might have to throw some lines in there or whatever, because like you never know. Like maybe the beat cuts off or something else happens in the crowd. You know, might have to address that. Whatever. You know what I mean? So we always, you know, we always try to stay focused and try to be in the moment, like both of us, when we are on tour or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, that one joint with Bad C was fucking crazy. That shit was hot, yo. I actually met Bad C through my boy DJ NUT, so he a good dude too. So you
Mm.
guys work with a lot of good people. That's what I'm saying. Like when you listen to every track you guys got, if you look up the artists, a lot of them are genuine. A lot of them are real cool, down to earth people. And a lot of them are just dope as fuck at the end of the day. So it's like that's a beautiful thing to have those kind of catalogs and be able to work with those type of people, because it's rare to find a dope artist that is also a good dude. You know what I'm
True.
saying? Like, and then a lot of your artists too. The one thing I love about the artists you guys work with, a lot of them are not ego tripping. Like I said, like they won't be like, yo, yeah, I'm with Snowgoons, fuck everybody, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ever see that on no social media shit. And I think that shit is dope because you know what I'm saying, I get tired of that shit. I don't know if you guys see that shit all the time. Like you see people just bragging all the fucking time. It's like that's not what the music is about. Like you know what I'm saying? We're supposed to all be working
True.
together and shit, putting together shit. So you know what I mean? That's good, man. Like even with Benny Hanna, like I said, like I see him posting all the time. I try to share his shit, do what I can. Whoever has me post some shit, I'm gonna share their shit. And they're not out there bragging. Like I said, they're not like, oh, I'm the best in the world or whatever and shit. So
Right.
that's
Right.
perfect.
It's the old saying, you know, like action speaks louder than words, though. Like, it's, you know, it's, and that's what we always do too. You know, you rarely see us like. I mean, we post shit that we promote our new music and let people know, but we not come off like on some like, yo, you gotta listen to our shit, man. It's the hottest, it's the dopest. Is what fuck all these artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's definitely not the Snowgoons, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, cause some of your beats and your joints are so hard hit. I'll be just thinking like you be walking in the street slapping niggas with CDs sometimes. Like, yo, here, this is my shit, this is my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, you know,
because
in a way, we do it, but we let the music speak for it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's our weapon, though. That's our
word,
way
yeah,
to show how dope we are.
word. When I heard that fucking get off the ground shit, I'm just like, yo, they gotta be some real thorough ass dudes to put some hard shit like that, like stomp somebody out in the street type music and shit, like. But then you also, that's one thing I love about your music too, man. It's like you guys you know how to transition, and you also know how to be versatile. You know what I mean? Because when I heard the virus shit, I wasn't expecting it at first. You know what I mean? I was expecting
Mhm.
another get off the ground, like to smash your face and shit. But then I heard viral with the virus Starlight. That shit just kind of changed me. It was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like just the way it
Mhm.
sounded and the whole feel to it. Like, I feel like that's what a lot of fans probably do feel too. Is like the way your music can persuade somebody to do certain things or be a certain way is dope. You know what I mean?
True.
Somebody's depressed, they want to listen to some dope shit. You guys got some dope shit that might be kind of lifting them up and shit. So it's like that shit is dope, man. Like I love that shit. I love that kind of music, and that's why I always try to support it. You know what I mean? Like that's why
Word.
people like me are always gonna try to push you guys. Even if I gotta slap somebody with your CD, you know what I mean? Even if I gotta sit there and blow up somebody's email box, I'm gonna do this shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's deserved. You guys just, I mean, like I said, look at that back wall, man. That shit is crazy. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure everybody one day wants to have some shit like that, just to be able to turn their back, like, yo, look what the fuck I got. Yo, look what I did. Like that shit is dope, man. But yo, I know you guys got your life. You got stuff you gotta get to. I'm not gonna hold you up anymore. I definitely
Word.
want to give a shout out to London LeBlanc Magazine, Snowgoons, Modern Frontier, all my peoples. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Five, he does some of my artwork and shit. Definitely appreciate y'all, man. Because like I said, you busy. You guys are fucking legends in the game. So to be able to talk to you just kind of lifted my spirits right now. You know what I'm saying? But
Hey, thanks for having us.
Salute,
yeah,
brother.
definitely.
That's Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, it was fun to do here, man. For real. And we hope you keep pushing, man. And we're gonna stay in touch for sure.
Yeah, let's stay
Send
in
send
touch,
some
man.
beats over, man. Definitely want to check that out for sure. And
No doubt.
yeah, and then a word to everybody out there, yo, the single is coming in 2 weeks. Keep an eye open. And you know, the Snowgoons are back basically, and we never left.
Yo, make sure y'all tag me in everything y'all do. I will push. I will put it everywhere I gotta do. 'Cause like I said, that's how
We
type of
will.
nigga I am. I'm always push what I like and what people need to be pushed. So definitely.
Word up.
Also, other than that, man, show. I said dope. What handles you guys got for people to check you out on? Like all your websites and whatever else you feel like mentioning.
Well, it's really easy. You all have to type in just either Snowgoons or Signature, and you're gonna be right there on the right pages. You know, even the best way is to, on the Instagram, especially, you would just hit the link in the bio. It's a link tree, and it goes right to the Snowgoon Spotify, to the Signature Spotify, to all our to the YouTube. You know, to all the links. Though it's at least you know we established ourselves so far. If you type in Snowgoons just in Google, all the official shit comes up. You know, that's the only way basically. Just use the two words, Snowgoons or Signature, and you're right there.
No doubt. Yo, I actually have one more question. Yo, did you guys ever get somebody like? Cause I noticed your shit says at Real Snowgoons. Did you have somebody try to like perpetrate and like steal your name and shit and try to be you?
Well, yeah, not really like still the name, but there is definitely the dudes out there who, you know, their profile is then also called like Snowgoon Beats or whatever. There was one guy, and he was
Oh
even
shit.
like he had the profile picture, the like snow artwork and everything, and then it was mad weird, and he made beats basically, right? And then I was just asking myself like, yo, if you want to do beats, why not do your own shit, you know? Like he called him Snowgoon Beat or something and used our artwork and shit too, you know. And I was like, yo, what's that
Yo,
about, you know?
what?
It's kind of
Yo,
weird.
I even yeah, that's fucking crazy. Like I'm pretty damn, that's crazy. I always wondered that because when I do see people putting like at real something, I always wonder like, yo, did somebody hacked their shit? That's why they had to like, you know what I mean? Like make sure this
Right.
shit is handled the right way and shit. Because
But
that's crazy.
you
Somebody
know,
stole your logo.
nah, but you know how it is in hip hop, man. Like we, you know, we earned our respect already, and I guess you can't take that really from us in a way, you know. Like, um, not to sound too cocky or whatever, but I mean, you know how it is, man. In hip hop, we always look at somebody weird, when you call him like a name that sounds very close to something else or whatever, you know, and then we're like, why he's calling himself that, you know, and because we all aware of what's going on in hip hop, you know, at least in our underground whatever family, you know. So I'm sure nobody will touch the name Snowgoons, you know, because it's like we already too established.
They're gonna get it. They're gonna get a beat down. From Germany to New York, they're gonna get a beat down, yo. That's crazy. But no doubt, you gotta ask that shit right quick. Cause you said like
Mhm.
when you mentioned your handles and shit. That's what's up though. But yo, I appreciate y'all time, man. Yo, y'all some good dudes, man. Like anything I can do to help y'all out, like I said, man, just let me know. I got you. And
Appreciate it.
yo, I appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely, likewise, brother.
Likewise,
So
yeah.
stay safe
Thanks for having us.
and we're gonna keep in touch. All right.
No doubt. You already know.
Salute you. Peace,
Salute.
All
peace.
right, peace.
Peace.
Word, yo. You once again, shout out to everybody that tuned in and shit. You know what I mean? Yo, what up, Lord Gamma? Peace to everybody that tuned in. Peace to the brothers Snowgoons, man. You're some real good dudes, man. You're like, their music is phenomenal and shit. The way they handle themselves. So make sure you add them, follow them, whatever, at real Snowgoons, or just type in Snowgoons anywhere. It will pop up. This video will be up soon. Probably YouTube, whatever. I'm gonna post it all over the place and shit. And I'm just gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna do what I can. You know what I mean? Every weekend I'm gonna try to bring somebody dope on. Friday I'm gonna try to do freestyle Fridays for whoever wants to partake. You know what I mean? You got some bars and shit. And yeah, I appreciate y'all supporting. I appreciate y'all for coming through and shit. Cause I know it's a Saturday. Everybody could be out there getting fucking, you know what I mean, Liz fuck right now and just be doing whatever. But y'all tune in. So definitely appreciate y'all, and you're gonna see some new shit coming out. Peace.